What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and on this video we talk about what type of budget you need for a Walmart drop shipping store. So I'm going to show you all the different seller holds that can kind of get confusing, as well as how much you should have on deck if you're going to want to drop ship specifically on Walmart. So I got that and a heck of a lot more. I'm super fired up for this video. I hope you're fired up. Let's do this. All right, so we're in my screen share and we're gonna talk about how much money you need to drop ship. Now, keep in mind, there's a number of factors that determine this, but today we're just gonna talk about just how much you should expect to have, an overall number, but your situation could be very different. But before we do jump into this video, I do wanna remind everyone that my email address is below in the event you wanna jump on a call to talk about how to either get this fully done for you, all automation from A to Z, and or you're looking to do this yourself and you just need some extra guidance, then we can go ahead and hop on a call and discuss. But let's go ahead and jump into the topic. How much do you need to drop ship? And ultimately, here's what it's going to depend on. Two big factors. The first is going to be, is your store brand new or has it existed already for a period of time? That period of time, the magic number is 90 days. If your store is less than 90 days old, then you're going to have to jump through a couple extra hoops. Whereas if you've been selling online Walmart already for 90 days plus, then you're pretty much in the clear and you don't have to pay attention to the rules that I'm about to lay out for you. So that's something that you do have to take into consideration. But let's talk about if you're below 90 days, right? The second thing that affects how much you're going to need is what your budget is. So ideally, before we jump and talk to the other topic, let's talk about ideally what your budget should be just to be on the safe side. I always recommend people have $25,000 in available credit because these things mount up, and you'll see why in a second. But there are a lot of people that have far less than 25,000. Sometimes people have 10K, and while a good team can still manage to make that work, there might come a time where it needs to stop. And the reason for that is you'll see what happens here based off of a couple different things that Walmart has recently done. And these things are just to age and season accounts, and that way they don't have to pay out so much as quickly as they have had to in the past. So let's talk about what they've done in order to kind of prevent people from growing at an accelerated rate. So the main thing that they've done is they've introduced a couple different holds. So the holds are as the following. There's a few of these things that happen in the holds. Let me show you these. Okay, so here is the seller holds, and you'll notice it says new sellers experience a payment hold for a period of time after they begin selling to build sales history and credibility. So this hold varies based off country, and it's primarily just either USA or international. So since most of us on here are US sellers, let's go over the holds. And I will say this much, there's still additional holds here that they do not mention. One of them is something that's called a 20-day hold. So you'll see a 20-day payment hold has been set on your account due to the new seller payment hold, and it talks nothing about the 20-day hold here because it's just that new. So let's talk about how all these holds work together, as this crap can kind of get confusing. So the main purpose for the 20-day hold is that Walmart pays out on a bi-weekly basis. So with 20 days, there's no way you're going to get paid out within 2 weeks of you starting to sell. It's always going to be 4 full weeks after, just because you've got that 20-day hold. So that's the primary reason they've done the 20-day hold. And that's really all you need to know about this mysterious 20-day hold that's not mentioned anywhere. Conveniently, obviously. After that, you've got 3 different requirements that are set in place before you get paid. So let's talk about those. The first is that there is a hold on your money up to 14 days on each fulfilled order until you meet the criteria below, which basically means if you sell something today and it ships out tomorrow, starting tomorrow, there's 14 days before that money is released into your account, and the ability to pay you out on the money will be allowed to go into your bank account. So you've already got the 20-day hold, and now you've got a 14-day hold on each unique individual item that you sell. And beyond that, until these 2 next requirements pass, then you're going to have to meet that criteria from now until 90 days, and you've received $7,500 in payments. So that basically means that $7,500 should have been already deposited into your bank account from Walmart in order to allow yourself to get 100% payment every 2 weeks. If the 90 days and the $7,500 have not been met, then we're holding up to the criteria of 14 days on each fulfilled order. And the 20-day seller hold has had to have passed. So it can get confusing, but just remember the 20-day hold only holds true for the first payment period. So you basically got to wait 4 weeks to get paid. And then within those 4 weeks, it's 14 days on each fulfilled item until 90 days have passed and $7,500 in payments have been met. And now that I say it like that, it's a lot easier to understand. Just understand you're not going to get the full amount of money until 90 days and $7,500 in payments have been met. Once you meet that criteria, you're getting paid bi-weekly, every single 2 weeks, 100% of what you earn. There is no 14-day hold on every processed items. You just get 100% of the money of items that you have already fulfilled, which means you've already shipped them. Simple enough. So now that we know that information, let's talk about what kind of budget we're going to need. Okay, so I figured that the best way to explain to you how this all works, and that way you can kind of have an idea of what kind of budget you need, is by showing you some of the payouts on the account. It's only had a handful just because it is so new. So first things first, you'll notice that it does say the 20-day payment hold has been set on your account. But if we go to the knowledge base and I search for 20, there's nowhere in the article that discusses what it exactly means. But there is a section here that discusses the new payment holds, which I showed you earlier. They're subdivided by USA and international. Going back to the payouts, this is the first pay period, and you'll notice it's a 20-day hold, like I said, but the beginning of selling on this account was July 6th. So from July 6th to July 8th, there was $261 worth of transactions, which means you would be owed $229.65, and this could be paid out 20 days later, which is 20 days from July 6th, which means that you would get a payment July 26th. But since Walmart doesn't pay on odd days, they only pay on the 1st and 15th of the month. The payout date for this wasn't until August 1st. And since that meets the 20-day hold criteria, $229.65 would have been released into the Hyper Wallet account for this particular account. And so that was the first payout, the first payment period. Now we'll go to move forward to the second one, which ran from July 8th to July 23rd. And the total amount that was owed is $33.92, and $33.92 was set to be paid on August 15th, 2023. So this one's almost a full payout, and that's just because of the fact that it had about 14 days to mature each of those orders that were fulfilled. So therefore, it's almost a full-on payout. So that's why it got $33.92 on there, which is pretty nice. So the account was open on the 6th and now of July. Now by the 15th of August, which is almost a month and 10 days, it got almost a full payout, right? So now let's move forward to the third and latest payout. That's July 23rd to August 26th, which is set to be paid out on August 29th, which is the end of August. And that total amount, the total balance, I should say, is $16,982. So over $19,000 in sales. But on this particular order or this particular payout, only $73.48 is set to be paid out, and $10,987.62 is still set to be held. And that's because of these 14-day and 90-day and $7,500 in payment criteria still in play. So we've already been paid out over the $7,500, but it still has not been 90 days. 90 days from July 6th would be, what is that? It's like somewhere September and October. This will not be receiving a full-on payout until the 90 days are met, but it has already met the $7,500 and the 20-day hold. As of right now, each item that's being fulfilled is not released. The funds aren't released for that item until 14 days, until we reach the 90 days. So as you can see, there's going to be about $10,000 left in the account after this closes out, but $7,348 will be deposited into the bank account on August 29th. That's a combination of profit as well as COGS, but there still is quite a bit of COGS and or profit stuck in the account. So pretty much that's a quick rundown, so you sort of have an idea of how Walmart is holding these funds, and they're unavailable to you until that certain criteria or set of criteria are met. But other than that, again, my email's below in case you do want to talk about how to get full-on automation for yourself, or if you want to do this yourself, it's available below. And that's pretty much it. Questions, comments, go below. I always personally answer those. And I'll see you guys next time.